What is going on, legend? How you doing? Welcome to content video number 3. And this week what we're going to be focusing on is called the results performance growth curve. Now this is something that you don't usually see talked too often about in the health and fitness space, let alone really anywhere, because I've only ever seen it once, and that was from me being in a mastermind retreat from one of my past mentors, who I pay 20k a year to work with to teach me all sorts of cool things. But basically here, what this applies to is for you to be able to see before it's even happened, in sort of like a future pacing type view, what your journey with me is going to look like in terms of where you can be expecting results to come, and how the breakdown of your journey is going to look like. So I'm going to be pumping out the iPad again today so that I can demonstrate to you visually, so that way you can see, taste and feel exactly what's going to be happening. It's important that you take note of some of the key phases, because in some of these phases you're going to find extremely difficult. Some of them you're going to want to quit. Some of them you'll find very trying. So it's important that before you get into any of this, that you really dial into what your why actually is, and why you're here in the first place, or why you're prioritizing wanting to transform your body. But to go in sync with this, that you've really dialed in with getting your mission of commitment statement done, all those other things, and that you've got your eyes on the prize. So let's pull out the iPad, get excited. So here we go, boys and girls. It is now time to draw. I've got my trusty pencil. Let's rock and roll. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm just going to set up a lovely little graph, if you will. So we're going to kick off here. We've got results. Whoops. I made it yellow. Let's change that to black. Whoops. There we go. Rightio. We're set. So we got a lovely, there we go. Now we're going to change that to that. And we're going to go, I reckon, this one. There we go, just get the settings right and we are good to go. Right, boys and girls, so everything to the top, this is what we call results. To the right, this is where we have time. Okay, now it's important to understand that when it comes to basically what you're going to be going through, I'm just going to change the size here so that we can change it up. There we go. So we've got a few different phases. We've got 3 phases, so I'm going to be splitting this up. So we've got, there we go, look at my lovely dotted line skills there. That's fairly straight, isn't it? And we've got this bit here. Awesome. So now I'm going to change the color here so that you guys can kind of see what's going on. So we're going to put the start here in red. So we're starting off like this basically. This is the flow of how you're going to be going. And then we have got, let's see, we're going to make this over here orange. There we go. And I'm going to make this one over here green. Look at that. Lovely. We want to be being over there. Okay. So let us now get into the good times. So boys and girls, let's just change this to color that I want. Right. So we're going to change back to black. Now it's time to explain. So at the start we have what's called the foundation phase. Okay. Whoops. The foundation phase is obviously the initial kickoff, and where sort of like very few people actually get past, to be honest. So we've got, and by getting past I mean like in their own solo journeys. Alright, so we've got the foundation phase, and the second phase is what we call the acceleration phase. Alright, acceleration phase. And then over here, whoops, there we go, let's get rid of that E phase. Awesome, and last but not least, we have the multiplication phase. So we'll put that up here. right around the time there. Perfect. So let's first focus on the foundation phase. So in the foundation phase, this is where you've got to kind of realize where this is sort of like the short-term type things everyone seems to like to be doing. So think like the 30-day challenges, think the 14-day ab challenges, think basically just the quick fix bullshit, okay? So if I write here, we'll put quick fix bullshit. Now, when it comes to quick fix type things, understand that the quicker that you get results, the quicker you will lose them. So in those cases where you see people drop weight really quickly, as you would have learned in the last video in regard to going low carb and stuff like that, a lot of the time people usually lose water weight and lots of it, and then this gives them that, obviously, that massive hype and whatever, and then you know, they continue on and realize, oh, I'm not losing as much weight, therefore a lot more rigmarole and stuff, wanting to quit. And this is why when it comes to the quick fix bullshit sort of foundation phase, you know, anything below 6 to 8 weeks, a lot of people don't actually make it through this period. Now if we go into the acceleration phase, this is where things, even in the foundation phase at the start, it's a lot of stop-start type stuff, okay, where you're basically, you know, think about all those people that, well, you might have even done it in the past before, where you stop a diet and then you start it, and where it's like, you know, you're good Monday to Thursday, but then things just go out the window Friday and across the weekend, and therefore you're pretty much back at square one again Monday. So acceleration phase, this is where we're going to have probably 3 different ways that this can go. So we've got the main one that you'll see here in orange, right? So this one here is called ramp up. Okay, so this is where we ideally want you to be on, this ramp up part, and if you're adhering to what it is that I've made for you and what it is that you're applying within this program, well, this is exactly what's going to happen. But what can actually happen if, you know, you decide to go YOLO mode or isolation mode or whatever, or even think about in the past when you've done you know, things solo and stuff like that, right? What can actually happen is that we get what's called the alternative path, which could be this one, which I'm drawing just now. This one here is called the cruise along. Or we can call it the inaction, which is basically just where it's like, oh, Angus, you know, your program hasn't got any results. And I ask you, okay, cool, no worries, Susie. So how have you been going with applying yourself lately? You know, what's been happening? How many workouts have you done? How have you been going with your MyFitnessPal? And you've done absolutely nothing. Well, you know what I mean? Like, that's fucked. You've done absolutely nothing, so that's on you. So there's that potential path. And then we've obviously got this other path here, which is, this is the fuck it path, basically, as I call it, all right? Fuck it, or we can call it the lose belief. Okay, now, when I've worked with anyone, no one's ever taken this path because I simply won't let them. But if you think about people in their solo journeys and stuff like that, you can even probably think of this as well, there's probably been times where you've chosen to do that yourself. Now, the thing is here is that the reason why this happens is because this whole ramp up part, okay, this whole ramp up section is basically what I call, I'm just going to write here, the suck, all right? And the thing is that without accountability and clarity and those sort of things, very few people actually will be able to get through the suck. Now, it's because you don't actually know what the suck is, and the suck is basically you understanding and coming to terms with the fact that your physique is going to suck for some time, okay, before you actually get to the stage where you're content with it, meaning that this journey is one that has a ridiculously high failure rate of people dropping out because they basically, rather than sticking to it and sticking to the ramp up part, which as you can see here is where we want you to be on, the ramp up part, right? They take the other alternate paths. They might go the cruise along or an action, and therefore their journey takes far longer than what it should. And well, hey, they might even choose the fuck it path, okay? So in the ramp up part, you can see that we've basically, if you've taken the right path, you've tripled your results. Now, as we said here, foundation phase is anything less than 8 weeks. All right, is when you're in that sort of mode. Acceleration phase is basically, you know, like to that end tipping point here. Anything sub of this. This is basically 8 months or less. All right, from starting out. And then the next phase, which is called the multiplication phase, this is where we're going to quadruple your results. So we're going to be ×4. Now this is 12 months plus. Okay. Now obviously you can see that with the fact that it's in the green, this is because, well, you've obviously chosen the right path, right? This is something where yeah, you will continue to accelerate, is what this is called. Okay, we're going to be going up. We're going to be accelerating. Now, contrary to all the motivational, you know, I guess, inanity, okay, that you see on social media, the bad times, the frustration and all the wanting to quit and stuff like that, right? They're going to far outweigh all the warm, fuzzy, rainbow, unicorn feelings and magical moments. But this is good. I want you to embrace the suck, because this is what's going to trial and test you and grow you into becoming an absolute alpha, meaning that, you know, you will become the envy of your friends. You will become part of the top percentile in the human race of people who are actually able to embrace and get over the dreaded suck, okay? Understand that it's just so important that in the initial stages of pushing through the quick fix bullshit and stuff like that, that you remind yourself that you're building a lifestyle here that's going to be lasting you forever, okay? So understand that the cost of inaction, right, is basically obviously a massive lack of results and you missing out on results potential. But the benefit of obviously embracing the ramp up, you know, part that you can see there moving into accelerate, is that we achieve massive results. Not only, there we go, we move into our true potential, because you're able to tap into your metabolic capacity and the ability that your body has to be able to you know, lose body fat. And then obviously, because this is a longer period of time, for those who are working with me for a year, you know, like it doesn't take a year to lose all the fat that you've got, unless of course you're, you know, you've got 30 or so kilos to lose or something like that. We're able to move into learning what it's like to be able to maintain. And then also what it's like to be able to actually eat and train for building muscle, which is really, really exciting, because when you have understood and taken to grasp how to be able to achieve all these things, it then means that you'll be, as you cruise along at this for a bit more, you've truly achieved what it's like to have freedom, meaning that you now no longer are held back by the chains of what it's like to be over here in the quick fix bullshit type part, where, you know, you're stuck by all the myths and stuff like that, where they're just holding you back and you just are unsure of what you should be doing, and therefore doing all different supplements and things like that, and just getting nowhere. So to be over here, my goal is to get someone into the accelerate and into freedom over the span of our time together, so that way you're in a span where you never, right, where you never need help again into the future. Okay. Now, obviously what you've just learned here is, you know, it's new, right? You've learned kind of the fact that, hey, things are going to be hard, even with help. You're going to want to quit. You're going to, especially in the suck section, right? When, you know, your body's trying to get you to go back towards what you're doing before, and your mind's trying to work against you and stuff like that, which is also stuff you're going to learn more about in future content videos. You know, you got to remember that your body is something that hates change, and it just loves to stay the same. So continue to just be aligned to why you're doing this. Continue to just know that, you know, like as you learned in the last video, weight will change, all these sort of things. Just love yourself and know that you've got this, all right? The stuck period only lasts for a certain period of time, all right? There's a reason why not everyone around you was all lean and stuff like that. It's because a lot of people don't push past the suck, right? They don't embrace exactly what it means to be able to actually transform their body. Now, what I want you to do is, upon watching this, is head straight to the group, post your 1 or 2 biggest takeaways that you've had, so that way this information sinks into your head that extra bit more. And looking forward to hearing what those biggest learnings are, and I'll see you in our next content video. Take care, superstar.